Hey, 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 happy Friday, everyone. It's so beautiful. A day. It's like 70 something here in Chicago in the middle of November. It's only the beginning, and we're just getting started. I am Sadia Davis, the director for the Center for Creative Entrepreneurship. And I just want to share just a bit of peace with you in this day. Today, I am so excited to share two incredible women who have so much to share and talk to us. But before we get started, we all need just a moment of peace. And what I'm sharing with you is a singing bowl. It was made in India, and I got it from my favorite place in New York called Scintillate. And for those who don't know, a singing bowl is really wonderful. There's a certain kind of vibration that comes from it. But more importantly, it's a sound that's healing. So here we go. So with that, let's start this talk with just a little bit of renewal and peace. I love Scintillate because they sell like incense and oils and all sorts of great things to stimulate your senses. And right now, we all need to find a little calm and to relax and know that all is well. And with that, next week, mind your business, mind your mentor. We're really excited to bring on professional individuals who mentor professionals, who mentor adults, and making sure that their business is on track, how to create and differentiate yourself in business, and how to become more sustainably successful in the creative sector. So I'm really excited to bring that to you next week. So be sure to check our calendar at the Center for Creative Entrepreneurship website, which is CCE Global, or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're going to start on Monday giving you sort of shout outs for what's happening for the week. So today, super excited to bring on Praniti and Ashwati of Mandala. Let's take a look at their work. Pranita Nair founded Mandala Arts in 2014, where she serves as executive artistic director. Pranita is a producer, curator, master teacher as named by Illinois Arts Council, and choreographer whose work is rooted in South Asian dance forms and their changing context within the diaspora. Pranita has been an exponent of Brahma in the Chicagoland region for over 30 years, and her path has flowed into deconstruction of the movement vocabulary from gesture to reassemblage. She has received 3 MacArthur Awards and is an 11-time recipient of the Master's Teacher Award given by Illinois Arts Council. Her work has been presented at Lincoln Center in New York, the Smithsonian Institute, Harris Theater, Olympics in Salt Lake City, and the MTV VMAs with Shakira. She has taught residences and workshops at Harvard University, Northwestern University, and the University of Chicago, and more. I'm just saying, Pranita, you're doing a lot, and we're loving you for it.
Thank you for inviting me to the show. I didn't know I did all that. I was just doing it.
But that's the thing, you know, when you're a founder and you're inspired to create, you're just, in a sense, almost birthing these incredible projects, and they're taking on a life of their own. And now you've got this incredible legacy.
Yeah, I mean, what's really close to my heart, I've been 35 years in this country since I migrated. There were so many opportunities that I saw that others had, and I was a performance culture. I wasn't considered as a mainstream artist. I fitted a box. So I want to make sure that the new generation of artists practicing South Asian dance and music get the right know-how, the right opportunities. They know how to handle it, manage it.
It's beautiful. So you mentioned moving here before you got started. Were you always a dancer? Like, is that something that you did before?
Oh my gosh, yes. Was I always a dancer?
Or
yeah.
just the joy of dance?
I think since the age of 14, I've always been a dancer. It was my family, my teacher inculcated, you eat every day, you shower every day, you dance every day.
Yeah.
You breathe, you dance. So it always became my own connection with myself that nobody can take away.
Absolutely. I absolutely love that.
That's the power of art. It's your connection with yourself.
Yes, that is so beautiful. You know, I say I dance every morning. And personally, I try not to speak to anyone before a certain time in the morning, because that's my time for myself. And one of my rituals is dancing. So let me ask you, you know, one of the beautiful elements of this kind of movement, in that video, there was a woman who danced with her hair in red paint. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Is that an idea that you had? Was it inspired by a cultural ritual, or how did that come about?
So as dancers, we are so trained into using our arms and our legs, you know, as the tools of dancing performance. The torso also becomes important. I just thought, since I got on this track of being indulging in modern deconstruction of Bharatanatyam, I don't know what to call it. I've been a traditional artist for 30 years, and something got into my head, and I don't want to do that traditional thing anymore. So how about using the hair, your neck, as the tool to create a movement vocabulary. I've been working with Laksha Damtran for a couple of years, and Laksha was the only truly the artist that I believed who could do this for me, mostly because of her mental ability, her intellect, her concentration, her will. To complete the project, to move with it. And I mean, that it wasn't a choreographed, I conceived it, I designed it, but I knew only Laksha alone can deliver it, because just the will of Laksha as a movement artist, her ability to stay put. So also being a dancer or an artist is more than just especially for dancers, it's more than your physical ability to do it. There has to be a mental push. There has to be an emotional connection, the will that you want to do it. That's why I'm still here doing it.
I mean, you're doing it, and I get chills over here. I'm like, if you think about just to move the head and control the hair, and then to have paint and the color red, I just wasn't sure if there was anything in particular that symbolized. It's so beautiful. I would encourage everyone to take a look at it. I know we have it on YouTube, but definitely.
Yeah, it's empowering to, even for audience members, to watch her for, this was a 20-minute piece. In reality, how it totally in awe of Laksha, how she manipulated her physicality as well, her mental will. Yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, you can watch with Rumi on Mandala's YouTube channel, for those of you who are tuning in now to see exactly what we're talking about. Before we bring up Ashwati, I also want you to share with our creative entrepreneurs, again, we provide resources to the creative sector, a little bit about you starting the nonprofit. And I want to address a couple of things. One, South Asian movement and dance as an art form does not fit the technical box for dance. And so many foundations or even theaters have a history, we're changing that, of wanting to program something that's familiar. And one of the things that I love about the work that you're doing is that you are awakening the consciousness of dancers and of programmers of events for theaters to be able to shine a light on a different form of movement. That's number one. And then I want you to also discuss a bit about transitioning from the stage, because in that video, if I'm not mistaken, people were wearing masks, right? So you guys are innovating and you're figuring out ways to navigate this pandemic.
Oh, those were many questions, Sadia. Which one should I address first?
Whichever tugs on your heart.
Okay, so I had 20 years of experience in running a nonprofit before I started Mandala again. When I founded Mandala again as a nonprofit, my first nonprofit was very entrenched in the immigrant experience and maintaining the cultural identity. With Mandala, the push has been more that I am not an immigrant. The arts that I'm producing comes from my experiences of being here and living here, and the artists that I'm working here are experienced both in the traditional dance form, which is on one sort of half their identity, like Ashwati, she'll talk to you about it, but they have also experienced ballet and opera and Western classical music, like young Manu who was playing the cello. How do we find a home for them where they can be appreciated for the artists they are and not check a box? I'm really frustrated and tired of fitting into a box. I don't want to be a box anymore. And that's literally the symbol of Mandala. Our logo, it's a round brown earth in a square blue box. The blue box is broken. The round earth is the brown round ball is the earth shattering the blue sky. So literally, it's symbolic of the new energy shattering the space. I hope we can live up to it. I'm super excited about it. And therefore, I've been committed to create a space for new energy, for new blood to flow through Mandala. And yeah.
Beautiful. I'm over here like, shatter the box. I mean, it's just, that's the true essence of an artist, though, to be able to have that vision to see past and through what's normal. What's normal is no fun. And it's the innovation of thinking beyond what everybody expects, right? Yes, to give these individuals a place that they can call home and use the talent that they have. I think that's brilliant. And I'm so happy that you shared the mandala and how it makes sense, in this form, right? It itself has a form of movement.
Yes.
And speaking of movement, I would love to bring up Ashwati, who is a tremendous individual in her own right. Ashwati Shanat is a movement and theater artist, choreographer, and educator based in Chicago. She is a principal artist in mandala arts since 2016. Ashwati began her extensive training in Southeast Michigan in Brahatman and in ballet, jazz, and theater forms. In 2016, she collaborated with Morro Valley to create Movement for Bach Suite in D minor. She is working with jazz percussionist Alvin Cobb Jr. to explore mental health narratives in communities of color, where they investigate rhythmic sequences found in Karnak and jazz intersections. Woo! In 2020, she received the 3 Arts Make a Wave Artist Award. In 2019, she set contemporary movement to Stravinsky's Firebird Suite, conductor Samir Patel, Chicago Sinfonietta. Her work has been presented at Chicago Symphony Center, the Art Institute of Chicago, the Logan Center for the Arts, and Hill Auditorium in Ann Arbor. Ashwati, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Gosh, I mean, you guys are such powerful women, and you're doing incredible, it's not just incredible movement in dance, but as I'm reading through some of the movements and the music and classical movements and music that you've choreographed, talk to us a little bit about who you are and what's inspired you.
Wow, big questions. And I guess that's why we're artists. We're constantly figuring that out. My name is Ashwati Shanat. I am a dance artist and general performing artist. I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I've been in Chicago since 2014. And Pranitha and I crossed paths in 2015. I've been working with her ever since, and I'm so glad that I met her at the time that she was living in, which was this new radicalization of Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam is a classical Indian dance form that is very popular globally and is very much a part of the immigrant experience in the United States. A lot of families that are able to commit to this 10 to 12 year extensive dance experience where young women learn a repertoire that they eventually perform as a soloist. And so it's very much a part of those young women's upbringing in the US. And so to meet an auntie, an older teacher figure that wanted to change the way that we view and experience this dance form was very exciting for me. So I definitely leached on to her vision, and we've been working together ever since.
You said an auntie. Can we just explain what that means, please, for the people who don't understand? Pranitha, you cannot say no.
Please go ahead. It's so cultural.
I think aunties are a part of so many different cultures that live here in the US. I know it's a part of, obviously, the South Asian experience, the Asian American experience, the Black American experience. And so y'all probably relate to aunties being these older women in your life who have a lot to say and a lot of opinions and definitely shape the way that you express yourself and the perspectives that you have and the way that you connect with your culture and tradition and community. Aunties are integral to the fabric of our society.
Well, I gotta say, generally, we don't, have political conversations, but I have to say that it looks like we have an auntie who may be vice president, maybe of this country. So, I think it's worth mentioning. And it's one of the things that I saw different celebrities saying, Auntie Kamala Harris, and shining a light on her heritage and her legacy and her Indian culture, which is really beautiful. So, speaking a little bit about movement and dance, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name properly, because I have a different name and I rather people pronounce it right. So say it for me again.
My name? Ashwati.
Oh, Ashwati. So I was putting the pronunciation somewhere else. So I'm glad, Ashwati, that I asked you. Yay. Okay. So you met 1 year about after you got here. You latched on to Pranita, and you guys have been innovating. Talk to us a little bit about what you're working on right now. And I think it's important because I mentioned before to you guys offline that the Center for Creative Entrepreneurship is a global organization. And so I want to make sure that we're also speaking to those individuals who are out there in the world to make sure and understand the value and the resources that they have with Mandala.
Oh,
either one of you can speak on that. Like, whether it's, I think Pranita may have been working and supporting Indian artists. Was there a project in particular where you were shining a light and giving jobs?
We just did one.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to talk about it?
Please. Yeah.
So first, we've gone beyond India. We've worked with artists from Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Yes. We continue to maintain those relationships. Our close partners are Indonesian also practicing Balinese dance forms. Chami Sriparam is a Thailandese gamelan artist. He works with us. So we truly try to support a South Asian identity with Mandala. So what project are we working on next? Even our past projects, at least I consider them like work in progress. Okay, how can we make it better? How can we make it better? So Rumi has been close to my heart, and Ashwati has worked closely on my radicalization of classical Indian traditional dance. So we've worked with her consistently on it. I think in the next year, we'd like to bring some artists in residence and nurture them, provide them the resources to create new work under the banner of Mandala. So that's going to be a big push. We do have some annual projects that happen every year. The Story of Ram, which is our next virtual project, will be on December 1st through 5th. It's a 5-day online event. So this is our fifth production of that one. So some are consistent, and some we continue to infuse new blood.
Beautiful. Let's take a look.
I think we need to start from the beginning.
So Daniel's going to set us up. So this is really beautiful. I mean, it's great to expand into the diaspora, right? And I love anytime we can create an artist in residence is fantastic. And however we can help to draw awareness, to help push that initiative, we would love to be a resource for you. And I am hopeful, even with this conversation, right, that we can start to do it. So let's take a look at Rajarang, Colors of, I can't pronounce it. I'm learning. Okay. and we're going to share the sound.
Hello, everyone. Good evening or good morning to our viewers in India. We are so excited to have this wonderful opportunity to meet the artists of our featured presentation, Rajrang Colors of Rajasthan, and the artists of Rajrang and Rupayan Sanstan. And in addition, we have here with us tonight Shubha Chowdhury, who is the director of Archives and Research Center for Ethnomusicology at the American Institute for Indian Studies. And without further ado, let's bring on our wonderful guests. Hi, Shubhanti.
So talk to us a little bit about that. So you were having a conversation, and it's my understanding you do a broadcast as well. Your event.
Yeah, so for all of our virtual performances, we've tried to get a space where the artists can talk about, you know, the work that they've been doing during this time, explain what they do and who they are, which we don't usually get to on stage. So that's been kind of nice to have these kinds of panels and conferences and behind the scenes moments. So this was actually prior to our performance, which was a collection of videos that folk artists from Rajasthan had performed. And we decided to go with like a pre-recorded performance because the quality and the sound is just so much better. But this was the one live aspect of it. We talked to the curator, the presenter, and as well as the artists. So it was a fun and interesting event, educational event.
Yeah, well, it's beautiful when you can actually speak to the musicians, right? Because, you know, generally when they're playing, we don't really get a sense of their personality. So that's great that you're able to do that. And the same with dancers, we get a sense of something because of how they're moving in their bodies. But when we can actually, like the fact that Pranita shared that her conception of the Rumi piece with this particular dancer that you knew that you could trust, that had the intellect to deliver, right? These relationships are so important, and they're so key to really being able to bring a vision forward. And that's the tricky part, is having the vision and then like literally manifesting it. So you spoke about relationships, which are really important. Is there anything in particular that you want to share with our community? Maybe some of the what not tos? Or Ashwati?
What not to do? Do more, everyone.
Yes.
But do as much as you can.
Yeah.
I think one big lesson we've learned is sometimes you can't do anything. Sometimes you just pause and you reflect, and you'll come up with something eventually. We're creatives, we're artists, we're entrepreneurs. Solutions present themselves when they do, and I think it's hard to beat ourselves up, especially with this crisis. So take things at your pace.
I'd like to add, know your muscle power before you go into heavy lifting. Don't let it break your back that you can't get up again. I mean, that's how I talk, you know.
Say that again. I want to hear that. Don't break your back trying to lift it because you may not get up. So as artists, we have these huge dreams, these huge ambitions, but just know what is really possible. That's so beautiful. You know, I think so many people try the heavy lift, and that's really powerful. I feel like that should be a meme or something. You know, because it's like, it's the whole thing of use your mask. You've got to be able to breathe first before, but if you completely overextend yourself, then nothing will come out of it.
Yeah, it's great to dream. It's great to have I learned it from I love teaching kindergarten, by the way, and I learned it from my kindergarten teacher friend. It's okay that your work is small, but make it good, make it beautiful. It'll speak for itself, instead of having, it's good to have wild, great dreams and illusions, but step by step. Know what
Step by step.
know what your resources are, especially if you're running a not-for-profit and raising your own funds and,
So this is really key because when you are raising your own funds, and most people just don't even know how to do that, actually. Can you speak to a little bit about maybe some of your success, like some key points, maybe 3 points that you can share that have made it more successful for you?
Hey, first, it's the hardest thing to go and ask somebody to donate and contribute. So it's important to have a team behind you that says, yes, it's okay to ask. It's okay to ask. I've had my own team constantly reminding me, yes, it's okay to ask. You're doing great work. Second is there has to be in what we think is logical, and to prove to the other person that what you're asking is for a logical cause. And usually the giving is for an emotional reason. Nobody gives for a logical reason. Those are the only 2 I have off the top of my head. When I think of a third, I'd let you know, Sadia.
Well, I can tell you right now that those are 2 powerful. Those are 2 powerful examples. And I will say that when people feel emotionally connected, checkbook comes out.
Yeah.
The internet donate button gets hit, because and it's not that we're being manipulative. It's that we're actually touching someone at their core in an emotional way. And that's what really good art does, and I love that you said that. I don't know, you may not need to find a third. That was powerful enough.
Yeah, but I mean, it's most challenging to ask people to donate, give. So it's important that you have somebody, say, it's okay, go ask, it's okay.
I will share, and I think you might appreciate this. The first year that I started Smarty Pants Are Leaders, my nonprofit, I'm sitting in my office and I was like, oh my gosh, where's the money going to come from? It was like, it's a passive position. It's not like you can, no, it's just people donate based on whether or not they support what you're doing. And so I think really great work like what Mandala is doing. And I love that you're expanding throughout the diaspora. I really want to encourage us and others here to support this goal of having a residency here. 2112 is the largest creative co-working space and creative incubator in the world. And we literally can provide a space for individuals to come and work while they're here, to connect with resources like marketing or IP, if they have intellectual property, or who knows what could happen while they're here. But we definitely want to be a resource to you and for them. So keep us in the loop.
We'll take you up on it, Sadia.
Yes, I would really love to continue this conversation. Well, I appreciate you both being with us today, and really being able to switch and shift and show up and be present, because the movement that you are putting forth in the world is powerful. We're at an incredible time in our history where globally everyone is forced to rethink and reimagine everything that they thought they knew pre-pandemic. And so however we can shine a light on the work you're doing or share the resources of what you offer, we are so honored to do that. And it's been such a joy and honor to be with such award-winning women. Truly, it's true.
Thank you for your work. This is an incredible resource, and I'm so glad we're able to be a part of the message that you're sharing. The 2112 sounds amazing. So excited to go there.
Absolutely. And I think it's a really critical time for our, creative entrepreneurs to, whether they're in dance or they're in film or they're in music, even just hearing what you and Pranita had to say today can be inspiring across all industries in the creative sector. So have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Inspired, joyful, and I look forward to talking to you very soon. It was such a pleasure to talk to both Ashwati and Pranita today from Mandala Dance. Please look them up on their website. They are two individuals who are a larger part of a greater dynamic of movement in South Asian dance. You can find their information at www.mandalaarts.org. I'm sure we can put that up in a ticker. And everyone, enjoy the rest of this day. It has been an impactful week, and I wish you peace and joy in your day, in your evening, and in your weekend. Be kind to one another.